Okay, let me share my screen. Is everything showing up nicely, Damien, on your side? You're on a companion mode. Can you guys see the screen?
Yeah, I do.
Perfect. All right then, well, thank you for joining today. As you all know, this is a reasonably quick session, and we're just going to be focusing on how to spin up a virtual solution. I'm sure you guys have had quite a bit of experience configuring the load balancer with view packs and Win. So the focus today is really on just the differences of how you spin up a virtual. You've had this, myself and Damien. As usual, the agenda, I'm going to quickly cover solutions available in the catalogue and a bit of the specs on those solutions, useful resources, the little library of resources we have and where you can get the image link for the virtual solutions. Then Damien will cover virtual resource allocations, how to deploy VMware and Hyper-V, a few slides on the initial configuration just as a refresher and for the recording for anyone else that's not seen it before. And then Q&A. As there's only 3 of you online today, just feel free to either put something in the chat or just come off you and interrupt us and just ask your question straight away. No need to hold things till the end. So without further ado, so solutions, Philips validated. So this is our Philips hardware unit with Dell. We used to sell a bit of a range of solutions through the channel, but through quite strict validations, we're only selling Dell hardware solutions now. So these are on the Dell R360 XE. It's the latest validated version. Throughput's 18 gig. Connectivity, you have, I think, is it 2 1 gig ports and 2 10 gig ports on. So it's copper SFP as standard. There is options for RJ45, but I believe it's much simpler rather than having to change the BOM and go to Dell just to get the different adapter cables to change that. It's not really too much else to go into detail here. I suppose the main thing is sort of the GSLB DICOM toolkit comes as standard, and these do have an iDRAC license as well for remote control if we need to access that remotely and recover. These units have been validated for 750,000 studies per year at the moment. That is the 12NC as on the screen there, that's in the catalogue. Speaking with Santosh and the validation team in Bangalore, in early Q1 next year, they're looking to test multiple million studies per year, but that work has not been completed yet. As soon as we hear from Santosh and team and get the wider reports, we'll share that information out.
So, your audio, it's, I don't know, some kind of echo.
Okay.
And it goes in and out a few times.
Yeah, we've bought these new expensive speakers and they don't seem to be that good. Does it sound a bit now?
Better now, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll just speak a little bit closer to the speaker. So the virtual unit, this is reasonably new. Again, this has been validated for 750,000 studies per year. Slight difference in the catalogue. Again, probably not the most key information for you guys, but you have to get the VA and support, and then support only line item, which means we can really tailor that to whatever the customer's needs are, whether it's a 3, 5, 7 year contract to give us a bit more flexibility in the support contracts as well. So this throughput, it's the VA Prime is done on its throughput license, so it's 4 gigabytes per second of throughput. If you want to achieve the 1 gig, we're recommending 2 vCPUs, 4 gig of memory and 20 gig of disk. And then for the 4 gig, 8 vCPUs, memory 16 gig and 20 gig of disk as well. At current, this is available on VMware and Hyper-V. We do have the options at Load Balancer to put this on different hypervisors, but I believe those are the 2 main hypervisors that Philips are running. And again, GSLB DICOM toolkit comes as standard as well. Professional services. So this is reasonably new for Philips. We do offer professional services. We've got a whole services team. I know your teams, especially in America and over Europe and rest of the world, pretty good at configuring the load balancers by yourselves. If you have any weird and wonderful use cases where it might be hybrid deployments, part on-prem, part on cloud, large multi-site deployments, anything weird and wonderful, and you'd like our professional services, then please do reach out. I'm going to be working with Lynn to add PS to the catalogue, so it should be really easy to purchase as well. But any questions, just come straight to me, liam.canavan@loadbalancer.org, and I'll assist you through that process as well. Right, useful resources. As you guys know, we've got the view packs and the RIS/WIM deployment guides have been formally validated by Philips. We'll share this slide around so you have the links available to yourselves. We've got the administration manual, which is about 300 to 400 pages long, everything to do with Loadbalancer.org solution, the enterprise solution. So it's very comprehensive. We've got the quick start guides, which are more about how to start up the virtual and hardware solutions as well. Not as much information, but can be pretty useful as well. Philips, we've got a how to contact support document. So this is just your escalation points, the support SLA and support email, and then, as I said, the escalation points, i.e. me, Damien, and the team. I've put a link for all of our resources on the site, and the important one for you guys with the virtual training is the free trial link. So this is where you would get the free trial original OVA, and then when we provide you with license keys after we receive the PO, then you just license your free trial to turn it into a fully fledged production appliance as well. So yeah, that's the free trial link. That's where you get your OVAs, and that means you'll always get the latest safe Loadbalancer.org version and won't be relying on old OVA links, which could be versions which are a bit behind what is current. And now for the while you're here, Damien, I'll pass over to you.
Okay, just checking. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So we'll just discuss resource allocation for the virtual appliances, because I believe that was one of the main kind of issues raised by Philips in States, that, you know, this has not been quite yet fully documented from Philips' side, from the R&D team who has validated the solution. In comparison, as mentioned before, we obviously got different hardware units. So the kind of 4 gigabit throughput, which would have been the old R20s. These are basically hardware is 4 cores of CPUs, but as they are multi-threaded, it gives us 8 threads altogether. So to fully match that specification on a VA, then we would go for 8 vCPUs, as we have done some testing around it and then further research. And basically, usually the way that hypervisors are dealing with that is that the actual virtual CPU is more of an equal to a thread rather than an actual core on a physical machine, unless you can specify the number of threads, but is usually a very advanced option and might not be also available often in VMware. It possibly requires some sort of a higher license. So as you can see, Flex, which is the kind of the most the unit that we sell the most on the hardware side, and that is 6 cores, 12 threads. So if you are trying to match something that was the hardware load balancer enterprise Flex, then we would go with 12 virtual CPUs and 16 gigabytes of memory. Disk is always 20 gig, hence it is for either deployment, it will be 20 gigabytes. Obviously, the fact that we are, matching here the hardware doesn't mean that we couldn't go for a little bit less, depending on the actual amount of the studies. But we do not have any sort of a very specific guidance, as well as the studies. Obviously, they do give us a rough indication of how much processing the load balancers will do. But also, some studies, the pictures might be bigger, the pictures might be smaller, so they're not all quite the same in reality. But these are the rough guidelines, and that would have been something that we kind of do here to match the hardware specification, which hardware has been used by Philips for quite a while, and we are certain that these are specifications that were field tested. So going with that should yield the right results in matching your hardware deployments while going virtual. Okay, and now we will just go on to deploying the VAs on the VMware as well as Hyper-V. Just a quick kind of guidance here. I think to make it easier, let's just go to the next slide. So here, guys, you've got the step-by-step instruction. We will not be really focusing on that slide because I will go ahead and do a live presentation. That's just for your awareness, we will send the presentation afterwards, just as a kind of a way to refresh that knowledge, something written down over there for you. And then, as you can see, next slide, we will be focusing on doing the same with Hyper-V. So yet again, I don't see a need for reading that slide. This is a reminder, more of a post presentation thing that you can read over there and then double check on. And now I'll share the screen from my laptop and just go quickly into VMware that I have and the Hyper-V as well. Just do the whole screen. Okay, so now my screen should be shared with you. I'm just going on my vSphere here. So just to give you an idea how that would have looked like to deploy a load balancer in the vSphere. Obviously, you find in your resources in whatever format that is, and within any directory that you might be deploying your load balancers to. You can go on deploy OVF template, and here from the local file, I have previously extracted that from an archive, so nothing crazy. Obviously, when you download the links, they normally just come as a zip that contains all the files, which, as you can see, also contains the quick start guide, a quick start guide to the portal, as well as a short README that actually have kind of similar description as I've put on the slide on step-by-step how to deal with deploying to a hypervisor. So with the VMware, we would choose both files here, the OVF, which has the kind of declaration of the virtual appliance specification, and VMDK, which is the disk image that contains all the necessary kind of files over there. And then you would go next. The only thing is I will not go into that because now I will be uploading these files to our hypervisor, and that would take a while. So we will, for this presentation, deploy it in a slightly different manner, which may also be a valid thing for you to do if you upload a template. So please do talk to your VMware administrator regarding uploading the templates. But if you have the template uploaded, then you will go on create new VM instead of importing the OVF OVA file. And from here, from deploy template, you can in your templates find the load balancer. So this obviously is where we have it on our hypervisor here. And I've got templates for all different versions. So to go with a template, and then obviously the process is to give it the name, and then you would choose if you have a multiple machines in the cluster, which usually you would. Likewise goes for the storage. So this is the storage that is for mine. And here, if you do not tick any of those boxes, obviously the machine won't be powered on straight away. Also, we will deploy it as per standard configuration, which is 2 virtual CPUs and 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is, as per our previous slides, only enough for going like a 1 gigabit throughput, so replacing old R20s, which might be something that you don't want these days for bigger deployments. So just go and customize the virtual machine's hardware, and that will allow you to change those, so as we mentioned, to match the the flex actually would have been 12 virtual CPUs, 16 gig of RAM. Changing the hard disk will do nothing due to the fact that the partitions are created as 20 gig, and then for me, I would choose the right villain as well. No, sorry, 11. So that would have been mine. And that then creates the VM in a vSphere. This will appear in your recent tasks. So if you open up that one, you'll see when it's deploying, and then afterwards you'll be able to just power that on and configure it the same way as our hardware appliance. So let's just quickly now switch to Hyper-V. Hyper-V, a little bit more to do over here. So with Hyper-V, we would go import virtual machine. You choose your template. Say it again, I have, just in the interest of not taking a lot of time with unnecessary actions, I have just extracted the zip file here in the folder. So we've got this structure, and we just select folder here. So that will import the whole snapshot. So as you have seen, it has separate folder for the disks, and similarly to the OVF of the VMware, there's an XML file that has declaration of all the hardware, etc. What's very important to remember is when we hit this point, choose input type, we must create a new unique ID, because otherwise all the load balancers, and usually you would deploy a pair, will have the same ID. So Hyper-V won't quite like that. So please bear in mind that you will need to choose that option, and this will create a new unique ID for each machine that you are deploying. Just you can do standard destination, you can change that, and then okay, so actually see, I must have something in that actual place already. Just save it temporarily here, and we'll remove it after. So that will just finish copying there. Just to show you, in the meantime, our machine in VMware has also deployed. So now it will be here in the directory that I have choose to deploy it, and here I can power it on, and sorry, clicked it twice. And as you can see, this is now booting, and as mentioned before, it will look exactly the same as configuring hardware. You will see the same prompt, logging in as setup. User with setup as a password, and that is possibly the screen that you know. And we have a quick video presentation on that in our slides. So we'll get to that in a moment. Just checking on the Hyper-V. This one is still copying the files. Just want to make sure that I can show you all the important bits, because you do need to obviously edit the CPUs, network, and memory if required as well. So I just wait on that to finish. In the meantime, do you guys got any questions? Just so we can use this time. Here no questions. So here is the newly deployed load balance enterprise ADC. So as it is using the standard name, one of the things that you will possibly want to do is rename it. So you can obviously change the memory here. As mentioned before, 4 gigabytes, 2 virtual CPUs is the standard. That should be enough for 1 gigabit. So the replacement of old 20s, you can obviously increase that to match whatever deployment you have over there. And then another important thing is your network adapters. So same as the vSphere, as the VMware, this comes with 4 network adapters, which you can change. The only thing with the Hyper-V, obviously they come in as not connected, and you just need to connect them to your networks. In my setup here, I only have a single network available, but if you have multiple different VLANs, you could configure that. If it's a trunk, you could tag VLANs from the perspective of the hypervisor. And as mentioned here, you can change the name. So if you deploy one, and this is a primary, let's say call it LB1, and that will do the trick. Let's just get back to the presentations. I'll stop sharing my screen here. You should get the presentation back on. Yet again, just double checking. Do you guys got any questions before we move further with this? Okay,
I just wanted to ask, so at the beginning you said something about a trial link. If we
yeah,
want
it is there in the slides.
yeah. Is that where we get the OVA from if we needed to download it?
Yes,
And
exactly.
what's a license from you guys to make it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the trial is simply turned into a fully fledged appliance by applying the license.
Okay.
So when you download the trial, if you have not signed up before, then you can always just sign up for the trial. Basically, after you signed up once, you should get an email that has links to all the different hypervisors, because they have different images for vSphere, different image for Hyper-V, so they all own formats. Likewise, there's one for KVM. So like Liam alluded to, we support different hypervisors, but VMware and Hyper-V are the ones that we are aware Philips is mostly using. And as far as I'm aware, the validation has taken place on Hyper-V mostly. This was the one that is mostly the one that validation has actually been performed on.
Yeah, and just a good point before we move on, Karen and team, is that what we've done for UK in a couple of the sites that needed to get moving before they raised the PO is you can utilize the trial license. It's 30 days long, and it has it's fully fledged solution, so it's got all the functionalities. You can make all the changes. So feel free to use the trial to start setting up the load balancers, and we can even provide temporary licenses if it's taken a while to get the PO and you're getting pushed by the customer for progress. So that's what we've done in the UK a couple of times, is use the trial licenses and some temporary licenses to get everything spun up ready for go live while we organise the PO. And so just keep that in mind. And then if you do need a temporary license to make it longer than 30 days, more than happy to provide up to a month, up to a couple of months, just so we can get the project started and moving, keep the customer happy while we sort out POs and stuff in the background.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Okay, and that possibly a well-known thing for you, but just as a kind of refresher, only I'm not getting, is it? Oh. So this is the setup wizard, as I have alluded to before, was showing you the deployment of the vSphere. So, okay, in this mode, I can't stop it. Let me just get here. Okay. Just as a refresher, as you have seen, first thing is we are being asked, would we want to continue with this process as this resets the AP? The second thing that you're being asked for is whether that's a recovery. So if you're doing this for the first time, it obviously won't be a recovery. There's also a question about the enrolling into centralized management, which is something that, as far as we are aware, Philips is not yet utilizing, but it's our separate tool that allows you to manage bigger fleets of the load balancers. So maybe one day we can also do some sort of a presentation for Philips regarding this solution. And then afterwards, you will see your available interfaces. So if you connected one of them, this one will be the one that's displaying the speed over there. And then we have bonding, which in terms of virtual appliances, usually you do perform bonding on your hypervisor, not on the virtual machine, as it would have just utilized the same network interface. If the bonding is done from the within virtual machine. So yet again, this is something to talk about with your hypervisor administrator. VLAN tagging, well, this obviously will depend. Most of the time, as you have seen in, for example, my presentation, we directly connect to VLAN from the hypervisor perspective as well, rather than having a trunk. But if the hypervisor was configured differently, where you have a trunk and you just tag the VLANs, you can do it from there, which is exactly same as you have been deploying your hardware so far. And here we just choose the interface on which we configure the initial IP that we will use to access the management web UI, and then after the specifying that IP, we obviously need to put a gateway in for this network, so you can reach that web UI from different networks. Specify DNSs to be used, which are used for example, the reaching out to update server by load balancer. In the end, we just specify the password. One tip as well here, if you are not being asked to specify the password, it means this machine has been already configured previously. So we do not allow to utilize this setup wizard to kind of reset your password. Different methods to reset your password. If you require resetting the password, please reach out to our support team. And after that, we should be all set with our load balancer. And on the IP, you have configured over there port 943, sorry, for HTTPS. Obviously standard username being load balancer, password, the password you have set up. You can access your web UI, and that basically concludes the presentation for today. Any further questions from you?
No, if there's no further questions, then I've just got a few little topics there. I think many of you probably have joined our UPACs and room training sessions, but we do have the videos available. So if you'd like to see them again, I can send them around. We do offer test licenses as well, and NFR licenses for lab use. So I could provide a 6-12 month NFR license if you've got a personal lab or sort of a group lab that you'd like to test the load balances on. Just let me know the hypervisor that you're going to be testing on. I'll provide those NFR licenses. Benefits both teams, so there's no worry there. We'll send around the recording of the session and a library of the useful links as well in email, so you've got that along with the slides. And of course, if anything comes up after reviewing the session or speaking with the wider teams, do let us know, and we'll respond and give you those answers.
Can you share this presentation?
Yeah, sure thing, Omar. I'll share it straight after we get off of this now.
Do you have any courses or training on troubleshooting beyond the GUI?
Well, we've touched on troubleshooting in the previous sessions about VFX and WIM. So there was a section there regarding troubleshooting. So we can share the videos from the previous presentations that we've done about WIM and VFX, or you can join a one when we set something for the next year.
Yeah, just on that, Omar, we've done a few certified engineer trainings for healthcare, so I will pull out those recordings and send them over. And then we should be scheduling some more next year. So we offer these to all our partners, so it'll be a bit of a refresher session. So I'll keep you updated on when we do that in 2026. But we'll have a look at the old presentations and share any notes we can find on troubleshooting and relevant sections of those presentations with you as well.
Okay.
You've got the mouse there. So if there's no further questions, guys, thank you very much. We'll follow up with the information. And then, yeah, anything else that crops up, do reach out to us, and look forward to taking the virtual solution to the stage with you guys in 2026.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
No worries at all. Have a good holiday period if you don't speak to you beforehand as well. Thank you, guys.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, bye.